Hey, how's it going, guys? This is going to be a real interesting video. Anakin and Obi-Wan fight reshoot and Ahsoka show leak. This is from Star Wars Theory. I saw the original article, but I feel like Star Wars Theory, if you guys haven't subscribed to him, obviously subscribe to Star Wars Theory. He's a great Star Wars channel, right? But I feel like what he's going to say is going to be different than my opinion. If you guys have seen any of my previous videos on Star Wars, you probably know my stance by now. So I'm curious to see what he has to say. I feel like it's going to be different than mine, but we'll find out here. So let's get this video started.
We would be honored if you would join us.
All right, so here's one that I want you guys to take with a big grain of sand, okay? Because if this happens, not only will fan fictions be a real thing in Star Wars, because Dave Filoni's bringing it back, but I'm pretty sure this will be a bigger scene than Luke returning in episode, whatever it was, The Mandalorian Season 2, episode 8.
I guess I can define, how do you define big? It'll definitely be a bigger scene. Ahsoka series reportedly features an Anakin Skywalker battle on Mustafar. If Ahsoka is somehow intervening between the battle of Obi-Wan and Anakin, yeah, that's going to be a bigger scene. Should it happen? That's a different question.
Absolute mind, man. Like, this is... Ahsoka series reportedly features an Anakin Skywalker battle on Mustafar. We knew this. Like, we knew about this rumor. There's actual details about, like, fan fictions that I used to make, like, 6-7 years ago on the channel. A new report claims Ahsoka will see the return of Anakin Skywalker once again, played by Hayden Christensen in a battle scene set on the fiery planet of Mustafar. For making StarWars.net via Bespin Bulletin, the insider notes that audiences can expect a moment wherein Ahsoka sees herself assisting Obi-Wan Kenobi during his climactic battle against Anakin in Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith.
Here's the thing with that. You're using the world between worlds to intervene in the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight in Revenge of the Sith. You can clearly see how that could be really cool, but then how that could also be astronomically horrible. Okay? You can see they could ruin potentially one of the best, if not the best moment in all of Star Wars. Or it could be a really cool, hey, dang, we're taking it back to one of the best moments, and this is awesome. And we're respecting what happened back in that episode, in that movie. And it's just really cool to be there again. You know, you can get two completely different feelings. Let's keep going. Let's keep playing. And let's see what Star Wars Theory has to say.
Filmed a sequence where Ahsoka sees herself on Mustafar fighting Hayden Christensen's Darth Vader before he's in the suit, states the source. They are new scenes.
So this has got, new scenes. They're filming new scenes of Ahsoka and Anakin fighting. Issue already. If you guys have seen any of the Disney Plus shows, you already know that the choreography, the lightsaber fighting is horrible. The lightsabers look like glow sticks because they are glow sticks. So you literally have the best lightsaber battle in Star Wars history, and you're just going to diminish it by subpar choreography, subpar effects, and all that stuff. So that's another issue that I'm having with this. But let's keep going.
They had a dummy for a dead Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they had clothes for a dead Obi-Wan Kenobi. They had two ideas there. One is Anakin literally kills Kenobi in that fight, where the idea would be Ahsoka and Kenobi confront Darth Vader. Another is
Ahsoka and Obi-Wan confront Darth Vader. So, aka Anakin, right? So Ahsoka's obviously using the world between worlds, and she's going back to intervene. Is she trying to save her master, trying to save Anakin from turning into the dark side? She's aiding Obi-Wan Kenobi to save Anakin. So let's take it back real quick, just a little bit. We're into Rebels, right, where the world between worlds was introduced. My opinion, Rebels isn't canon, so World Between Worlds isn't canon. None of this, the Ahsoka series, is not canon, so put that aside, okay? But within the confines that they created, right? So Ahsoka and Ezra... So Ahsoka's battling Darth Vader, right? Ezra reaches in and pulls her out, right? So you're able to change the course of history by intervening with the past. I don't know if we can intervene with the future. I'm assuming that's possible. But in regards to this, we're talking about intervening in the past. Ahsoka was supposed to die. Ezra reached into the past and saved Ahsoka. After that occurred, Ezra immediately realized what he could do and wanted to save Kanan, naturally. So he runs off and he tries to save Kanan, but Ahsoka stops him and says, hey, your master sacrificed himself for you. If he dies, so does the rest of your crew. That was the situation that they were in, right? He was blocking the fire and he pushed the ship off to the other side. And so if Ezra reached in and changed history in that moment and saved his master, Kanan, he's pretty much choosing, hey, should I save my master and let the rest of my crew die, or let it be? How history played out. So Ahsoka essentially says, hey, this was the choice that Kanan made. He sacrificed himself to save you and your friends. So let that be. Ahsoka also sympathizes with Ezra. She says that she couldn't save her master. So what is happening now? Because she realized that she can't save Anakin, just like Ezra can't save Kanan. So why? What is the motive in going back to that fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar? What is the motive there?
Ahsoka and Kenobi confront Darth Vader. Another is he turns into a pile of clothes just like he always did. I have a lot to say about that. He becomes one with the Force at that time in the narrative, making Star Wars further insisted that the fight itself is not a big scene in and of itself, so expectations should be tempered.
Makes sense, because you can't recreate the epicness of that fight. I guarantee you they're not going to train as much as Obi-Wan, as much as Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen did for that fight. I guarantee you. And if they're bringing back Hayden Christensen for this fight, to fight Ahsoka, I guarantee you they're not going to train as much. The lightsaber's not going to look as good. The sets are not going to look as good. The CG's not going to look as good. I mean, maybe the CG and stuff will, but the quality, the emotions, I don't think it's going to be there, man. I mean, it might. The emotions might. But just the overall quality, it's not, they're not going to capture it. They're not. I can pretty much guarantee you. We saw, look what they did to Obi-Wan and Anakin and Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. You literally brought Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen back, and that's what you did? That's the worst of the Disney Plus shows. That is Rise of Skywalker levels of bad, okay? How do you fumble that ball? I don't get it. But okay, so we know that Ahsoka is going to go back to the fight on Mustafar, and it seems like because of Ahsoka's intervention, Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to die. One is Anakin literally kills Kenobi in that fight, where the idea would be Ahsoka and Obi-Wan confront Darth Vader. So is it because Ahsoka and Obi-Wan confront Darth Vader that Anakin ends up killing Darth Vader? Or did she intervene? Because that's the other thing. We don't know if we can do takebacks, right? If she intervenes, can we reverse that intervening? Because if she's intervening here, is that becoming canon? Or is there a way to go back and not intervene, thus, reversing the timeline? Okay? Because if this somehow means that what happened in Episode 3 is because of Ahsoka, or because Ahsoka didn't intervene, it ended the way it is, meaning like Ahsoka's the savior. If Ahsoka had been there, Anakin would have not turned to the dark side, and all of this would have been prevented, and he would have brought balance back to the Force right there, or something like that. Or the events that took place were because of Ahsoka. Whatever. If they make Ahsoka the crux of all of this, I'm not gonna like that. I don't want that. I don't want. Don't change canon, okay? Whatever happens here, it needs to happen if it's happening, and then it needs to be erased, okay? I mean, regardless, the show is not canon to me, so whatever. But okay, let's hear what Star Wars Theory's got to say.
Scene in and of itself, so expectations should be tempered. A, I don't know if this is legit. Who knows? B, if they have this fight back on Mustafar, they need to get Nick Gillard to choreograph it. If they don't get Nick Gillard, that's a big no. It's just a big.
Did they bring him? I doubt it that they brought him to for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, because that choreography was horrible.
Big doo-doo.
So why would they bring him back for this? I mean, maybe.
Okay, you can't not get the main man that made the prequels, the fight scenes in the prequels. I mean, that man was the epitome of the
dude. If you guys have watched my previous video about the Acolyte and that fight scene, the Duel of Fates, check that out. That's another thing.
Prequel trilogy, and he's a cool dude. Anyways, we'll see what happens. But as for the idea of a dummy for a dead Obi-Wan Kenobi and then clothes for a dead Obi-Wan Kenobi, having two ideas. One is that Anakin literally kills Kenobi, which I would go for, and then the other is that he turns into a pile of clothes when.
Yeah, see, I knew he would like it. It's cool. The idea is cool to see that, because to see Anakin overpower Obi-Wan and actually beat him, because he is more skilled in that sense. To see that would be cool. But see, Star Wars Theory is coming at this as fan fiction. This is not fan fiction. This is official Star Wars canon. Okay? I mean, it might not be my personal canon, but it's official Star Wars canon. So if you're looking at this as, hey, this is fan fiction, this is a cool idea, hey, let's play with it and let's see what happens, it's cool. Yeah, okay. But anything beyond that, yeah, no, thank you.
Anakin kills. So either way, Anakin's gonna kill him. This is a dope fan fiction, and it's something.
See, it's a dope fan
fiction has like wanted to see since the beginning of time. Is what if Anakin beat Obi-Wan on Mustafar, and having Ahsoka there as well would be.
Yeah, if they're trying to change canon, or not just change the events of canon, but change the causes. Like Ahsoka is the crux of the issue, of the events that are occurring here. Like she's the key. You know? If they do something like that, I'm not gonna appreciate that at all.
Ridiculous. Like the possibilities of the outcomes.
Look at those. You see the difference in the lightsabers? Those glow stick looking lightsabers?
Okay, so anyways, Obi-Wan turning into a pile of clothes is bogus. They can't do that. That's completely garbage, because he didn't even know how to transcend into the Force at that point. It's after this that Obi-Wan went to Polis Massa with Padme, and this is where Yoda learns from Qui-Gon. If you guys remember that scene where Yoda is meditating and
that scene
Bail
was
Organa
so
walks
good,
in and
dude.
interrupts
Just the
him
reference
rudely.
to Qui-Gon.
There was actually dialogue there where Qui-Gon was supposed to be speaking to Yoda in the Force, communing with him, and then teaching him how to transcend into the Force and to commune in the Force properly, and teaching him his teachings, like how he basically survived after death. And it was here where it's in the book, it's in the script, but they cut it out. Yoda says essentially that Qui-Gon is his new master, and this is then when he.
I have a question. Are the books, the novelizations of the Star Wars films, they were written by other authors, right? So that's what I'm assuming. I don't know for sure. So these other authors filled in the gaps. So were these things those things that were filled in the novel, were they from the mind of George Lucas, or were they from the mind of these authors? That's a question that I have. I don't know. I've never read any of the Star Wars novels, any of the novelizations of the movies.
Tells, once Padme passes away and Luke and Leia are born, that he tells Obi-Wan Kenobi that I've learned how to commune with your master, Qui-Gon. Yeah. And Obi-Wan is like, Master Qui-Gon, oh my God. And he just says Qui-Gon. And so
dude, look, he's good with the voices.
That's when he embarks on this new journey of how to learn how to commune with Qui-Gon Jinn and the Force. Forget the Kenobi show and all that. Like, frickin' took 10 years. No, okay? That's not even what George wanted, all right? So it happened later on. As he was on Tatooine, he learned over the course of the 20 years how to commune with Qui-Gon and transfer himself into the Force. I don't agree with the Kenobi show. I think Disney really has this whole stupid cookie cutter script of have the hero, have him disillusioned, have him depressed, he loses his way, he is weak, he forgets how to be a Jedi, and then all of a
this show
sudden
is so
he
bad, man.
finds himself again and he's motivated.
It's so...
like, and then becomes a Jedi. It's like
the overall look, even the flashback, dude, with just imagine they do the Mustafar scene with Ahsoka, and it's Hayden Christensen. They don't do any de-aging or anything like that. If they bring Ewan McGregor back, they just somehow sort of try and do the hair. Like that flashback scene in Obi-Wan Kenobi, he didn't have the mullet. They just combed his hair back and tried to make it sort of look like the mullet. They didn't do any de-aging on Hayden Christensen. Just imagine that quality, the glow stick lightsabers, that quality, but in the Mustafar scene. That's just utter disrespect. Imagine hearing that soundtrack and the visuals don't match.
Stupid. Come up with something else. George already did it and he perfected it. Stop trying to do some cookie cutter crap. Anyways, as for this would be pretty ridiculously amazing. And I know there's going to be a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people aren't going to like this. I am going to like this. I'm going to love this.
I see. But you see, he the direction he's coming at it is, hey, it's just fan fiction. This is something that I do. Hey, I do fan fiction on my YouTube channel, and this is now fan fiction coming straight from Dave Filoni. So that's awesome. Dave Filoni is going to be able to do stuff that I won't be able to do. I'm speaking like as if I was Star Wars Theory. So in that respect, from that viewpoint, I can see, hey, this is cool. It's a cool idea. It's something cool to see on screen. What if Star Wars fan fiction? Hey, you know, that type of thing. But we got to remember that the Ahsoka show is official Star Wars canon. It might not be my canon, might not be Star Wars Theory's canon, but it is official Star Wars canon. That's disrespectful to me. If I think if my suspicions are going to come true, as disrespectful.
Seeing as how my channel has basically been about fan fiction since the beginning, I have always loved what if scenarios in Star Wars, and this is a what if scenario. And with the world,
if it is a what if
the
scenario,
possibilities of what if are literally endless, and they don't matter. So she could perhaps be.
Yeah, that's it. That's if it doesn't matter, if it's a what if story, but if they do something where in the past, and you know what I mean, if they do something where it's like, all of this is because of Ahsoka. Like what they did with Reva. What they did with Reva and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because Reva spared Luke Skywalker, the legacy continues, and I mean it's because Reva spared Luke that the original trilogy happened. That the prophecy was fulfilled. Because if she didn't, oh my gosh, Luke would have died. Darth Vader would have stayed Darth Vader. That type of thing. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want them to turn Ahsoka into something like that, because I like the character.
Be going in some world in her own head, or seeing like a gateway of a possibility of what if she was
something
on
like
Mustafar
that,
with Obi-Wan.
that's fine.
Anakin would have defeated Obi-Wan, which then would have caused so many issues with Yoda, with Luke, with Leia, and even Padme. I mean, she wouldn't be able to
what if.
confide
I got no
in
problem.
Obi-Wan at the end, saying that there is good in him. So what would happen there? Then what would happen with Anakin and Ahsoka? Would Anakin bring himself to kill Ahsoka in that moment? Or
I always wondered about this scene, right? Because Ezra reached in and saved Ahsoka. So what happened to Vader? Did he die? I mean, obviously not.
Or would he kill her? Or well, I don't think she would kill him, but that's the thing with Anakin in this moment. And it's very difficult to kind of understand how the battle would unravel, because Anakin was so engulfed in the dark side and in his own ego. And
the other thing is, Obi-Wan didn't need help. Obi-Wan had multiple opportunities to take Anakin, but he didn't. Obi-Wan doesn't need help. He didn't need help in this fight.
hubris that he was unable to really see how to fight properly or how to really do anything because he was so consumed with his own anger and blinded with his own anger and his ego. My new powers, you know, it was ridiculous. That sounded like Moff.
That was like
Gideon.
a
My
Tommy
clones!
Wiseau,
No.
Hayden Christensen.
Anakin would be like, you underestimate my power. Something like that. So I think that this would be a really fun fan fiction. If they don't get Nick Gillard, they better get someone who's like just...
That
well,
is
there's no
if
one
it's a
just as
fan
good,
fiction.
but someone who's extremely good and has a very good connection with Hayden and Ewan and Rosario Dawson. If they get, you know, Rosario Dawson in this, because she'd be much younger, so they might have to de-age or something like that. Because at this point, Ahsoka would, oh no, well I guess she would jump in from her present time, unless she's seeing a possibility of a different something else happening, which might be the case, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, in the past few months, rumors have swirled that Christensen would once again be donning the robes of Anakin Skywalker for Ahsoka. While these whisperings were never verified,
I'm
of course,
obviously I'm excited for that. See, bro, dude, come on, man. They could have done this so much better. I feel bad for Hayden too because he cares about the character. I feel like he cares more about Star Wars than Ewan McGregor. I feel like he genuinely cares a lot about the character and about Star Wars. And it sucks that his return was the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and that show is such a missed opportunity.
Believe that the actor's willingness to reprise his role in Obi-Wan Kenobi could have set a precedent for future Star Wars returns. I hope so. Rosario Dawson, who plays Ahsoka, has remained quiet on the possibility of an
glow-stick
Anakin
lightsaber,
Skywalker
man.
return, playing coy when directly asked, and if the Jedi Sith shows up. She says, it's just been really
look like the
cool
lightsabers
that at
people
this
cosplay
moment
with.
I'm joining it, and he's been able to come back in 2022's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and also get embraced by the Star Wars family in a way that I think is much deserved. It's definitely one of those things that would be super cool if he was in Ahsoka, but I'm just really grateful that we're in the same universe. So obviously he's in it. I would bet 100% with no doubt in my mind that he is in the show. You know, not even including like the tweet that she did a long time ago saying, you know, see you soon, Sky Guy, or
See you
whatever,
soon,
like
Snips.
tweeting to Hayden. Well, Hayden doesn't have social media, but like basically saying it to him and then having to delete it. I think that she's definitely like made a boo-boo there, and he's going to be in the show 100%. I would bet on it. What I would bet, I don't know, probably lint from my belly button or something, but beyond that, not really at liberty to bet anything else. But look, that's my thoughts on this fictitious what-if scenario. I think seeing that with like Hayden Christensen
If
and
it's
Ewan
a
McGregor
if it's a
would
what if
be-
scenario, then
I can't
yeah,
even describe
it's cool.
what it would be like. But emotions will be shared beyond emotions being shared. Like it's just gonna be.
I also saw this. It was like an article or something where they were talking about how the way they're viewing Ahsoka in the show, the transformation of, you know, Ahsoka in the past to Ahsoka now is like a Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White. So I can see that. I can really see that. But I do hope we get some of that spunky Ahsoka from the Clone Wars back, because Rosario Dawson can definitely pull that off. If you've seen any of the behind-the-scenes stuff, she can definitely pull that off. So I really hope we get that.
Mind-boggling to see something like that, to see a revision of that scene and a fight of that scene of the boys fighting each other and Anakin winning. That's like what so many fans have wanted to see, just as like a fun what if, and we got to see it in the PS2 video game for Revenge of the Sith as like an alternate ending. And I think I think this would be pretty fun to see. I bet the reactions will be wild when the show comes out.
Dang, I
for
haven't
that.
played that game.
I can't imagine what the watch
wanted
party
to
is
get
gonna
it
be
back
like.
in
That's
the
probably
day,
like
but-
episode 6 or something, man. Something. It's got to be episode 5. I don't know. I'm calling it. It's got to be later on. Anyways, dude, I'm very excited to see our boys back. If this is true, and if it's not, I'm still excited to see the show and to see Ahsoka play out and to see.
I'm not
Dave
excited, to be
Filoni's,
honest.
you know,
I'm not excited because I don't trust them. They already ruined everything. They ruined Obi-Wan and Anakin in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. So, looking at their track record, I'm not expecting something awesome.
debut of his own show. I think Dave Filoni is the only really competent guy when it comes to Star Wars, and I think he is the only one to keep the show running. And I hope.
But see, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. The showrunner may be competent, but that doesn't matter. Look at the last season of The Mandalorian. You see what I'm saying?
hope that Disney sees that as much as they have destroyed the brand. I hope that they understand that Dave is the next best thing to George Lucas, and he respects him, and he's going to keep his legacy alive and respect the characters, unlike all the other people that came in there and just put their own spit on it. So I'm looking forward to the Ahsoka show. I hope you guys are too, and can't wait to see you guys at the watch parties. Let me know what you thought about this video.
I'm looking forward to it. My hopes aren't high though. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm definitely looking forward to watching the show, to seeing what's it about. I'm curious, but I don't have high hopes. I don't have high hopes for anything about Disney, Star Wars, nothing. Do you guys agree more with Star Wars theory, or do you agree more with me? I know I'm probably a little bit more of the pessimistic approach. I mean, if Star Wars theory is right, that it is just a mere what if, it is just a fan fiction, that's it, then okay, cool, maybe that'll be interesting to see. But then again, I don't think it's going to be at the quality of what we saw in Episode 3. The lightsabers aren't going to look as good. The choreography is not going to look as good. It's just going to be a subpar version of what we got in Episode 3. And it might be cool, just like, hey, you know, just like a little thing, but I'm not expecting anything magnificent. So let me know down below in the comment section, what do you guys think about this news? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.